Hello. Okay, this is the second worksheet in our book. This is this worksheet on page 15. I'm going to be working on a blank piece of paper, but when I draw the horizon line in, pretend that this is inside your box, okay? Okay, the first thing we always draw is your horizon line. Make sure it's totally horizontal, okay? Give it vanishing points, okay? Make sure they're actually dots. Then you'll have a place to go to. The first thing we're going to do to this is just exactly like we started with on the other page. And we're just drawing a simple box. Now I've drawn a line that's about 2 inches long. Make sure it's very, very vertical. Okay. Once again, as you're drawing your boxes, neatness counts on these. Okay, go right to the vanishing point. Okay, now we put the backs on the box. Make sure they're very vertical. If you're off or either direction, it's going to look really strange later. So get used to lining up the little red lines on the bottom of your page if you need to. The little lines on the bottom of your ruler are really useful for that. Okay, so I'm just making a box. To get the top on the box, we run it back to the vanishing point from the back corner of each side of your box. Okay, so there's your box. Now we're going to draw another box right behind this. So pretend that this line here, that's the back of your current box, is the front of your next box. Alright, so if we did that, if this is the front, then we'd run it back to the vanishing point, which we already did because we made this, and we're going to put a back on that one. Alright, so this is your next box. This is its own box. This is the first box, and this is the next box. And because we can't see any of this stuff in here, we're going to put the top on it by running this back corner back to the vanishing point. So this is your next box. Alright, now the next one we're going to do is going to be a little bit taller than this box in front. And we're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to pretend that this back edge of this box is the front corner of the next box, but we're going to make it taller. So we're just going to take that line and we're going to extend it up. Now you'll notice it's getting kind of close to our horizon line or our eye level, and so you might just be able to see a little sliver of the top when we're done. But this is the front corner. So we're going to run that top back to the vanishing point, and the other side back to the vanishing point. Now obviously I can't run this back to the vanishing point because it's hidden behind these, but we can see this over here. So we'll put the back on that. I have to keep track of which one I'm going to. So this is the line right here. Alright, don't get mixed up with other lines in here. In fact, if you need to erase something, if they're kind of getting in the way, you say, alright, I don't need that line. That was this other stuff. Alright, so now I've got this side of this new box. Now I don't have the other side figured out yet. Obviously we can't see what's underneath here, but we can see this little section, and this side is going back to infinity right now. So we need to cut that off. So we're going to do that with a vertical line. And this could be pretty much anywhere. But so this is the new box. This is the one side, and then this is the little part that you can see. Now let's put the top on it. So from the back of it, we go to the vanishing point. It's the back corner. And the other back corner, we go to the other vanishing point. And then you've got this nice little box. I'm going to shade that, just the top of it so you can see it. Now obviously we've got, this is looking really flat because we're really close to our eye level. It's kind of like having something that's just right underneath your eyes. Almost above, and all you can see is this little bit. If it's down further, you can see more of the top. That's when it's right close to your eye level, you can only see a little piece of it. All right, so now you've got these 3 boxes. Let's do one that's like a skyscraper, because we're building a city here. And we're going to pretend that the back of this box, this is this second box back, the back of it is the front of my skyscraper box. So we're going to say, all right, but I want it really tall. So I'm going to take that little line and I'm going to take it clear up into the sky here. And then I'm going to run the top of it back to the vanishing point, like I always do. Now you'll notice it's going down to the vanishing point because it's way above our eye level. And then this one also come down because you always take the top back to the vanishing point. Now let's cut it off because right now it's a huge wall. Let's make it into a skyscraper. So we want it kind of, the rectangle to be tall and thin. So I'm going to take that, clear up. And then, all right, this is my tall box back here. Say, well, I think I'll have it go right here. Don't need to have it line up with anything else. And so that's the back of my skyscraper box. Now, a couple of fun things about that. If you want to have evenly spaced windows on this skyscraper, we can take our measuring ruler and we can make a mark about every 1/2 inch. Now this could be 1/4 inch if you want really little skinny ones. And you can go all the way down the side of it with little dots. And then you can run all these back to the vanishing point. Now, it's very important that you run them to the vanishing point. I see lots of students just say, well, they're parallel. They should all be the same way. Well, they are the same way, but they change because of their relationship to the vanishing point. So some of them will have this kind of a slant, and some of them will have that kind of a slant, depending on where they are in relationship to the vanishing point, because they all go to the vanishing point. There's only 2 ways things go. The VP and it's vertical, or it has a really good reason. I'm going to put a question mark there. So you've got a really good reason there. This is definitely going to the vanishing point. The nice thing about perspective is it always follows rules. It's kind of like math that way. It has rules, and if you follow the rules, it always works. So these are also going back to the vanishing point. Now you'll notice I'm not drawing them clear back to the vanishing point. That just makes a lot of extra lines. But I'm running my ruler back to the vanishing point each time. Make sure that you're actually going to the vanishing point with all those. So now it looks like it's either got siding or lots of little skinny glass windows or something. All right, with this front box, let's do something fun with it. Let's put a garage door in it. Now, if you want a centered garage door on this side, you're going to need to find center. And if I just measured, it wouldn't be correct because it's going back in space. So the way we find center is we go corner to corner in that side of the box. So find your side of the box and go corner to corner. You might want to stop the video till you get that done. All right, then any time you hit that line and pull it back to the vanishing point, it's going to be centered. So if I just say, well, I'm gonna go up to that line, that cross line, that one that's crisscrossing, and I stop there. Then I go to the vanishing point. Be quite precise with this. And then I go straight down. I'm gonna make a beautiful little centered garage door. All right. Now, if I want to make it look like that garage door that I can drive in, like it's a car wash or something, if I take from the corner of my building and I go back to the vanishing point, I can put in the wall and the floor inside. And I'm just going to put one little line, it's going to the vanishing point, inside the door. And it will look like now you can drive into your car wash. Now, let's do the same thing, only let's do a window. Same thing, we're going to find center. There's center, there's one way, there's another way. That where it crisscrosses is center. Now I'm going to put a window in. if this has to be very, very vertical, or it doesn't work very well. So I'm going to say, well, that's very vertical, and I'm going to go from where the cross piece is to the next cross piece, and it's just vertical, then to the vanishing point, then back down, making sure I'm totally vertical. Sometimes our eye plays tricks on us, so make sure you're lining up those little red lines with the edge of your paper. And then complete it by going back to the vanishing point. And that is my other window. Now you'll want to do another window here and try that out. If you need to back up with the video, that's fine. Another thing that makes this really fun is right now our house doesn't, or our building does not have any thickness to the walls at all. We can add a thickness if we go to the back corner of whatever the opening is, and we go to the vanishing point, really short, just a little tiny short one. This is going to be the windowsill. And then we go straight up because that's what the wall does. And then we go back to the vanishing point because that's what the wall does. And that gives you, and I'll shade it so you can see it a little better, that gives you the thickness to the building. Now obviously you wouldn't be able to see this side of the thickness because it would be behind this wall. And it's always on the back, like away from you. It's this one too. Let's do this one on the other side of the car wash. This would be on the ground, and we wouldn't put a windowsill in it because it's on the ground. Pull it back to the vanishing point and go straight up just like the doorway does. And if you want to erase that because we don't need it, that's fine to erase, and then you can shade it so it looks like it goes back in space. Okay. Now what I'd like you to do on yours is just like this window or this door, give us a window or a window here and just kind of play with it just a little bit with this bottom part. Now the next little thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a birdhouse roof. We did that on the other one, but I want to show you on something taller. Now remember how we want to find center. You can find center in a fairly small space. As long as this is all going to the vanishing point, you're okay. So we're going to go corner to corner, and this is going to be kind of a strange little rectangle, but it still works great. Okay, so I found corner to corner. I'm going to go straight up from where that crisscrosses up to where I think my roof ought to go, and then we're going to build a little truss for it. Okay, one from the corner of the building to the top, and this is one of those times when we don't have to go to a vanishing point. And we're building a roof. Now if this were lower, I might be able to see the top of the roof, but if I put my ruler right there, notice that the top of the roof, if it started here, it would go behind the house, behind the building. I wouldn't be able to see it. Okay, so that's enough for that. Add windows to that and then turn it in.